here with another edition of the Spiritual Medicine Digest. Well, this is actually take 2 because I recorded this last night, and I got to tell you, I was starting to get kind of tired, and then kind of felt yucky at night last night with what I call Mother Earth headaches, although in this case it wasn't a Mother Earth thing, and just felt super tired. And we were at drum and dance practice yesterday, and it seemed like everybody was really like pulling up their bootstraps to do this 2-hour practice, and we all kind of looked tired. So I think if you've been tired, you're not alone. So asking questions to source, I was trying to figure out, okay, why is everyone so tired? What's going on with this, headache or whatever else is going on? And what I was getting is that with this latest ascension, that the spiritual vibrational energies are so high that there's a huge number of entities that are already healing and clearing without necessarily any of us commanding them to be cleared. Isn't that cool? I mean, there's a few stragglers, 4% that were not cleared with the last ascension, but what's very interesting is that even though we have so many of us empaths have decommissioned our empath because it no longer serves us, nor does it serve the universe for us to continue being empaths, the average non-empathic person, if I put that in quotes, the average non-empathic person is now able to feel other people's stuff in the rest of the multiverse, or the rest of creation, because we are getting closer to the whole concept of we are all one. Now, we are all one also means that you might be able to feel something that's going on in an alternate universe or another part of the galaxy, for example, that have nothing to do with your stuff. But it might feel like your stuff because that's where your mind goes. Oh, it must be my stuff, or it must be, even if you're pretty spiritually aware, you say, oh, whose stuff is this? Maybe it's my neighbors or my boyfriends or work or some stress. But nobody thinks, oh, maybe I'm feeling a rift of something going on in the galaxy that isn't having to do or pertain with what is going on in my life right now, right? Most people don't think of that. So I asked Source some questions about that. So we are all becoming closer to one, which if you are a Star Wars fan or sci-fi fan like I am, if you recall from the original Star Wars that when the Death Star destroyed this planet with all these people on it, Princess Leia was like, oh my God, she got chest pain. She just looked like she was so sad and sudden, like she could feel and hear the cries of all those people dying, even though it was in a completely different part of the galaxy. That's kind of like what it's like. You can actually feel a shift in the force, so to speak. You can feel the shift in the fabric of the universe. And the way we have been feeling the pain bodies of others as empaths, a lot of times we'll notice those shifts that are unbalancing or not good, so to speak, versus the ones that are good. Now, mind you, if you've been paying attention, there have been moments of complete bliss and magic. Like, for example, yesterday, here I am, I'm getting ready to go home, and there is like ice, on the car. And I did do weather magic, so I did stop the ice from falling, at least for the time that it was necessary for me to get to and from drum class and, not have ice all over the place. But anyway, there was a layer of ice on my car that I had to clear before going home and then going to drum class. So I get out the scraper thing and I go to one window, and I just turned on the car, so the car was not warm yet. So I go to the scraper thing and I'm like, trying to scrape this back window and thinking, I don't think I need this back window clear. Maybe I'll just move on to the other windows because this is going to take forever to do, And at that moment I made a wish. I said, pretty much like, okay, guys, help me out here. You know what? I do not feel like scraping all these, windows like this. So I got about this much of that window done and moved on, So I moved to the driver's side window right next to it. Okay, this is like, we're talking like a minute later. So I start scraping, and all of a sudden it falls apart. It starts melting like crazy. I was like, whoa, this was easy, weird. Okay, so then I go to the front window, which is usually really, really stuck. Just flaking off like really easy. I'm like, this is great. And I'm like, thanks, guys. Whoever's doing this is awesome. I go to the other side window, and every window, I come back to the original window, and it's fine. It's fine. Now you could say, well, your car warmed up. Is this really magical? This is such a silly story. I don't know. I'm just going with it. So I just said, thank you very much. I asked if I did get, energetic spiritual help with scraping my windshield. I got a yes. I'm like, thank you, thank you, thank you. I was able to get home with plenty of time to eat my meal. But anyway, one of the things, strategies that I learned, that's the cool stuff, right? The bliss stuff. So about feeling the so-called bad stuff that's going on in the universe, even non-empaths are feeling this, and that's about 50% of the population who can now feel what's going on in the rest of the galaxy, and feel the force, so to speak. But what you can do is sometimes the physical body will reflect those things going on in the rest of the multiverse, and sometimes this can cause us some physical symptoms. Me, for example, are one of those folks that tends to reflect things, and so we can reflect things on an energetic, physical, mental, emotional, spiritual, dimensional levels even, but the physical level is really interesting because do we really want to be physically reflecting everything in the universe that doesn't feel good? I'm guessing no. So I asked Source if it was okay to kind of, shut off that part of that reflection. I got a yes, but I got a no for the rest of everything. So we're still going to be feeling energetically, maybe even emotionally, things going on in the entire multiverse and all of creation that may or may not personally pertain to us, but it's safe for us to feel those things. And what you do when you do feel them, say you have a mood issue and you muscle test it's not your stuff, something going on in the rest of the galaxy, universe, or somebody else's stuff, you can go ahead and send them the energies of Ascension 1 and 2 and direct it to them. You can also pray, which is very, very useful. And one of the best prayers, if you know it, is the Our Father. It's a very high vibrational protection type of prayer. Healing prayer, so you can say that like 9 or 10 times in a row, for example, and that is usually good enough, and see if that clears for you. But as far as the physical reflection, you can turn that off, so you can go ahead and just command that it be turned off, that the physical reflection of all things bad going on in the universe, or all things that you do not, are not high vibrational, that be turned off, and you do not get those symptoms. We've also asked too that these reflections be, especially for the negative stuff, be kind of turned down the volume, so minimized. So that's also just programmed now into Ascension 1 and 2 recently, as in like today, so that hopefully this will help people out. So that's what's going on with the being one with all. So sometimes being one with all can be quite distressing for some people, but hopefully with these tweaks it won't bother you as much. But the cool thing is it's supposed to happen, being one with all, so we can truly be empathetic and loving to everyone and everything, and see them as us and us as them. Speaking of which, there have been a lot of drastic changes going on in the last couple of weeks. If you have not already noticed, there's a lot of people leaving the earth or got really, really sick. My friend Beth, who's a doctor, came up to me yesterday and she's like shaking me on my shoulders like, I had to file 5 death certificates this week and it's all your fault. And she laughed. She goes, I know it's not all your fault, but you're the one that told me and predicted this was going to happen, but it's like freaky, and it is. So people are leaving the earth in drove numbers, unfortunately or fortunately. I mean, who am I to judge, right? Relationships breaking up, job moves, career moves, like house moves, I mean, all sorts of drastic things. So there will be periods where this just happens in these spurts, and that's just part of the ascension and clearing and changing process. For those of you that have had new souls merging in or new walk-ins, for example, you might feel completely different about your job or your spouse or something that was tolerable before is totally not tolerable to you right now because you are more in your truth. So that might happen where you kind of tolerate, whatever, abuse or, being untruthful. And then all of a sudden you're like, you know what? I can't do this anymore. I am done, and so we see friendships breaking up and things like that. The one thing I do want to warn you about, which is really awesome that it's reflected in our movies. I love movies, can you tell? And I love superhero movies. So the superhero movies that I did not like, was Batman versus Superman, and the other movie, which was, I think, Captain America Civil War. Okay, so this is about superheroes fighting each other. That is a sign and symbol representing the so-called negative powers that be, that that is part of the plan. Okay, that's a part of the plan to depress us, to pull us down, that kind of thing. I mean, it's not going to work, but anyway, but I just wanted to let you know what the plan is. So, so the plan is to pit healer against healer, good person against good person, and the presidential election is a perfect example of that. You've got perfectly awesome, wonderful people, you know, on the Trump camp and the anti-Trump camp, and they're like arguing with each other and going, oh my God, you know, oh my God, the world's going to be horrible, you know, how can we have this president, you know. So what's happening is people are arguing with each other, and this political frenzy is producing a lot of fear. And I got to tell you, the powers that be that do want to control you want you in fear. They want you so much in fear, and I got to tell you, this is probably a really good strategy, whatever they did to get Trump into power, because there's a lot of fear out there still. So these are even people that are, you know, energy healers that do this for a living, you know, and they're still wrapped up in that fear. So I'm going to tell you now, that's part of the plan to get you into fear. So stop it. Stop it. Okay, it doesn't need to be. If you know that there's puppet strings and the presidents are just puppet strings or whatever, you know, going on, bless them, you know, but don't sit there worrying about it and being fearful about it, because that decreases not only your vibration but the whole planet. And let me tell you, there needs to be more people with a higher vibration who can see and feel peace no matter what is going on in the world. So this is what you're being challenged to do right now. So you will notice that sometimes you will have, you know, good people fighting with each other, mother against father, child and, you know, parent, brother and sister, friend against friend. And this is another strategy to get good people to fight against each other, the heroes to fight against each other. So, I mean, that even happened to me recently, and it's very uncomfortable. But I mean, luckily that I could see it immediately that that's what was going on. And really, you have no control over what the other person, you know, reacts or feels. All you can do is bless them and, you know, send them Ascension 1 and 2, of course. And you know, let it go, you know, and that is your charge, is to let these things go as quickly as possible. Ask Archangel Raguel to help with conflicts with others. Help, you know, ask your archangels and the other God team beings to help out with this particular situation. They are just waiting for you to help, or to help you. So you're just waiting for you to ask for help. There we go. Okay, so the other exciting thing this week is that we get to do mass clearing of things that no longer serve us. Now, what's really interesting is some of this mass clearing isn't necessarily low vibrational stuff. It is lower vibrational stuff that we no longer need, but not low vibrational. See the difference? So low vibrational might be something of a light score like 20 or 30, but maybe there's something or situation or something, whatever energy, that's a light score of 60 or 70. But guess what? You're at a 90 something right now. You don't need those things, whatever it is, you know, contracts, vows, oaths, you know, that stuff, of course, curses and cords and things like that. So you can clear these much, much faster than previously, thanks to the ascending energies happening all over, you know, the world and the galaxy and the whole multiverse. So we've been doing some mass clearings, and there's certain parts of your anatomy that tend to hold memories, and people call them your cellular memories, but it's beyond the cell. So you have maybe things that are recorded in your RNA, your DNA, your cytoplasm. We found those 3 areas do record some of these negative energies or things that no longer serve you. Parts of your spiritual anatomy, your energetic anatomy, your dimensional anatomy. Remember those interdimensional portals we talked about? Yeah, and I just did a mass clearing and healing for everyone who wants it, of course, for these, you know, areas between auric layers. It's about 4 millimeters thick, and this is part of your dimensional anatomy. Apparently, I haven't asked more questions about it because I just found out about it today, but they weren't happy, and nobody's was happy, but that's just the way we had evolved over time, and so we just did kind of a blanket healing on that. So please let me know if you feel like there's a difference in how you feel. So we get to clear, you know, spiritual, mental, energetic, you know, emotional, dimensional bodies all at once. and well, sometimes it's not all at once, but all in one sitting is what I'm saying. Doing multiple clearings. You want to clear resistance to clearing everything that does not serve you. And this may come up again, but certainly if you check what is left to clear, it's not going to be a big, huge number anymore because you've been doing this, clearing on a regular basis. And again, Ascension 1s and 2s already upgraded with the abilities to clear what does not serve you from all of these bodies, so to speak. So I'm excited about that. So if you missed the radio show on Monday, I was with Dr. Dennis Lobstein, and we were talking about LifeWave patching for neck pain. And neck pain happens to be one of these Ascension symptoms, sometimes related to a port that's opening up and not completely grounded. Sometimes a lot of light and energy coming in, and your physical body's having a little bit of time to connect with, or it could be very something simple like you stressed your neck. Okay, so it doesn't have to be woo-woo spiritual stuff. So we went through several different easy neck protocols, and we tried it on James, who had neck pain, and we tried his ARC protocol using the patches on Triple Burner 10 and on both sides, and then Eon on the back of the neck, and James said it helped a lot. So yay for that. So check that out. That's on a replay. You can check out, I did a blog article on my Patch Training Team site, so you can go to patchtrainingteam.com/blog to check out the article with pictures and stuff like that, to check out those acupuncture points and how you can use these phototherapy patches for neck pain. And I will be interviewing, this is a recorded interview with Yuri Krohn from Energy Tools International about their brand new product called Vital 360, and it is a like medical marijuana. You've got the THC and the CBD portion. We did a show on that a couple of weeks ago. So the CBD portion is in this particular therapy, and their therapy is energy enhanced, subtle energy enhanced. So I can't wait to talk to them about that. That's going to be recorded, and that's going to be on Monday's show at 3 p.m. Eastern, that recorded interview. Okay, so the next thing is you want to definitely mark your calendars, because on the 20th of February, there's going to be free mini healings. So we're going to do a radio show, and we'll figure out the topic. And you can call in and request a free mini healing. And, I can't promise you'll be picked, but definitely call in. There's also a chat. You can write in, your issues, and we will be doing group activations and also individual mini healings. So for whatever reason you haven't had a mini healing from me and would like one, you definitely want to be on that show. Okay, so that's the 20th of February. I'm really excited about that because I really like doing that. And also mark your calendar for February 28th. I'm going to be back on with From Heartache to Joy, doing a self-hosted call on entities. So if you want to be checked for entities and get entities cleared, we're also going to be doing a great group activation as well. So get on my mailing list to know what we're going to be doing, because right now it's not announced yet. So KarenCan.com and get all your free gifts there. I love you all. Have a wonderful week and happy integrating the new ascensions. And remember to ask for help from your higher vibrational beings to help support you in this and to help get you out of fear. Yeah. Okay. All right, guys. Now, next week I actually have my birthday coming up, so I'll have to tell you how that goes. 50th. Yay! All right. Take care, everyone. Bye for now.